Stars. Stars are everywhere. In the night, in the day, always surrounding us, whether we see them or not. Now, stars are quite beautiful, so Bob here wants to go see some. He goes out during the day, he looks up, and he's quite disappointed. All he sees is the sun. Now, the sun is a star, but not the kind he's looking for. So Bob goes home and decides he'll go out later at night, when there's less light in the sky. When Bob goes out at night, he looks up in the sky and he sees thousands of little sparkles. These are stars. Now, some of these stars might look like stars, but are actually just satellites or airplanes. And we also have the moon. So the moon and the stars are all illuminating the night sky over Earth for animals and humans to navigate and live. Here's where we come to the problem. There are some places on Earth where it is easier to see stars, such as this field. And there are some places where you can hardly see stars or natural light at all, and that's due to light pollution, such as the cityscape, with windows, cars, and streetlights all producing artificial light, illuminating the sky unnaturally. So now we have to ask ourselves a very important question. What is light pollution? Well, according to the Dark Sky Association, light pollution is the inappropriate or excessive use of artificial light. Now, the components of this light pollution can include glare, sky glow, light trespass, and clutter. First, we have glare. Now, glare is close up, and it causes a lot of discomfort to our eyes. So, for example, if you took a flashlight and you turned it right on underneath your eye or right in front of it, you're going to be left quite disoriented, and you're going to have a hard time seeing things. Secondly, we have sky glow. Now, sky glow is what you see when you look over a city or a town and there's a slight halo around the inhabited area, almost like a backlight in a movie. Now, this is also what helps kind of get rid of the stars in the area. And also, it's usually caused by street lights and cars and lights from inside windows. And that all comes together and creates this sky glow. Now, the next thing we have is light trespass. Now, light trespass is when light enters into a place where it shouldn't be. Such as if you're sleeping in your nice, comfy room, trying to get some good shut-eye, but outside there's a street lamp or street light that's shining and it's just getting in through your blinds. So it's going to cause you discomfort, it'll probably wake you up, and it's going to be, this artificial light is going to be impacting your life. Trespassing, you could say. Now, lastly, we have clutter. Now, clutter is when you have a bunch of light sources all close together, really for not much reason, but on most main streets you'll see in cities and towns a lot of street lights all down one street, meant to be aesthetically pleasing. But this doesn't always cause that, as it really just causes a lot of clutter and a lot of excess light pollution, artificial light pollution too. So it's really not good for anyone, especially when looking at stars. When stars are washed out from light emitted upwards, it is called astronomical light pollution. Around 18.7% of the Earth is astronomically exposed to artificial light. Now imagine your kids growing up not being able to see the beauty of space and the stars. Now, while we have astronomical light pollution, which affects our perception of space, we also have ecological light pollution, which is when artificial light disrupts light and dark ecosystems. Now, there's another name for this too. Ecological light pollution can also be called photopollution, but this term is not as specific, so it is used less. So we're going to stick to ecological light pollution. There are a lot of sources for ecological light pollution. In the cities, it's cars, outside lights, inside lights. You've heard and seen it all before. For other biomes, such as the ocean, it's oil rigs and boat lights. In the tropics, it can also be excavation and cutting down tree lights used for their equipment. Now in the tropics, the tropical species would be affected by a shorter night, as day length can trigger certain behaviors in animals. Light can vary with the amount present in an area and its intensity, usually the number of photons in its wavelength. Sometimes this is measured in lux, which is the brightness seen by the human eye. But keep in mind, all species respond to light differently. Measuring light in lux isn't perfect, as some organisms, such as moths, are affected by high-pressure sodium lights, as they give off ultraviolet wavelengths, but they aren't affected by low-pressure sodium lights. Ecological light pollution can affect populations by disorientation, attraction, and repulsion. This leads to the harming of reproduction, migration, foraging, and communications. These different responses are affected by different aspects of light. Orientation/disorientation of an animal is affected by the amount of light on the environment itself, while attraction and repulsion is due to the brightness of the source of light. Birds and other animals may be able to orient themselves better under artificial light, being able to find food during the nighttime. This new light can invoke changes to birds' territorial singing. Birds can be attracted to the light, causing them to be easy prey to others, and causing them to collide with each other as they are in such a small enclosed space. Disorientation can also occur for animals accustomed to the dark when in the presence of artificial light, such as newly born sea turtles, as they usually travel to the ocean in the dark, but with all the artificial light, it results in their own disorientation, leading them to be easy prey. The intensity of light also disrupts the orientation of nocturnal animals, as they are used to vision at night. Insects are also attracted to light. Depending on the spectrum of light, ultraviolet is more seductive, increasing the rate of bugs to the light. Mating can also be affected. For example, a frog will mate more quickly and less selectively when there is more light around, as the frog is trying to avoid being eaten. The International Dark Sky Association is a recognized authority on light pollution and is the leading organization combating light pollution worldwide. Artificial light can also affect our own day-night cycle as humans, aka our circadian rhythm. Melatonin is affected by this rhythm, and artificial light can hinder this production of melatonin. Blue light is also linked to melatonin suppression, and it is found commonly everywhere, including campus at U of A. According to the International Dark Sky Association, around 13% of all residential electricity in the United States is used for outdoor lighting. This creates around 15 million tons of CO2 waste, and around 35% of all this outdoor lighting goes to waste. Popping over to the International Dark Sky Association's website, you are greeted with a plethora of resources, such as find a dark sky place. Now, typing in Edmonton into this website, it gave me one location just a little north of the city, as a place where it recommends to go look at stars in a naturally dark environment. There's also a section on the website for neighbors who are not using the correct lighting, and it gives you social tips to go talk to your neighbors to figure out a solution to prevent more light pollution. There's also this handy-dandy guide that shows the acceptable and unacceptable fixtures for outside lighting to prevent and decrease the amount of light pollution you give off. Through its effects on the ecosystem and the animals that reside within it, and the effects it has on humans, artificial light is a problem. Now, we have to deal with this problem, and though it may take time, we need to reduce the amount of artificial light we input into our environment.